Hey, ladies. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope you're doing well today. So, this story that we are going to talk about today has been trending all week. I first of all want to give my sympathy to the families that have lost loved ones, to this Black woman and her mother and her six children who are going through this right now. But there are some valuable lessons that we can learn from this. And on this channel, we don't do gossipy things, as you all know. Oh, definitely give us a thumbs up as you're coming in. Sorry, should have said that. Um, we don't do gossipy things on this channel, but with this, a couple of days ago, Victoria from the Credit Solutionist actually did a great live stream with regards to this. And I thought, you know what? I want to piggyback off of some of the things that Victoria is saying. I want to add a couple of additional things as well that I know. And Victoria made the interesting comment that this tragedy was in part due to financial literacy issues. And I felt like she was right about that. So, what we're going to do tonight is kind of catch everybody up in case you don't know what's happening. I don't know everything that's happening. So, we're going to watch a little bit of the news. Then, we're going to watch a few segments of what Victoria talked about last week, or sorry, earlier this week, I should say. I have some additional comments to add to what Victoria's adding, and then we are going to tie it all together in a nice little bow with regards to the four things that I'm really going to hammer in for upwardly mobile Black women that you're going to need to have in order to make it, in order to be successful. And those four things, again, are you're going to need to have technical skills, soft skills, networks, and resources slash financial literacy. So again, want to welcome everybody. Please give the video a thumbs up as you are coming through the door. Give the video a like, please, and share the live stream for this evening. So the first thing we want to do is actually play the news. We're going to throw Lester Holt in here in the nightly news, and let's just get an overview of what happened earlier this week with the four Americans who were kidnapped in Mexico. Ended up that two of them were shot and killed, and the other two were let go, one of them being a Black woman. The other three were Black men. Two of the Black men were killed, and the third one was injured severely. So again, we're going to start off with just the news from a few days ago with what happened overall. And this was, I think, before they figured out that two of them had been killed.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Chilling images tonight appear to show four Americans kidnapped at gunpoint moments after crossing from Texas into Mexico on Friday. Tonight, the FBI asking for the public's help, offering a $50,000 reward to help locate the Americans who were attacked by armed men after crossing from Brownsville, Texas into Matamoros, riding in a minivan bearing North Carolina plates. One woman seen being dragged into a pickup truck. A U.S. official tells NBC News the attack may have been a case of mistaken identity. Authorities say a Mexican citizen was killed during the confrontation. Gabe Gutierrez reports it happened in an area that has become increasingly dangerous.
These photos, shared widely on social media, appear to show the kidnapping's aftermath. The FBI says the four Americans entered Matamoros, Mexico Friday in a white minivan with North Carolina license plates before armed gunmen opened fire and abducted them. A law enforcement official with knowledge of the matter tells NBC News this video depicts part of the kidnapping, appearing to show one woman walking on her own, forced into a white pickup truck. Armed men with bulletproof vests are then seen dragging other people into the vehicle.
We are closely following the assault and kidnapping of four U.S. citizens in Matamoros, Mexico. These sorts of attacks are unacceptable.
Authorities say a Mexican citizen was killed during the incident. A law enforcement official tells NBC News the Americans did not cross the border for any criminal purpose, and that this appears to be a case of mistaken identity.
Cruzaron la frontera
Today,
para
Mexico's president
comprar
said they'd entered the
medicamentos
country to buy
médicos.
medicine, although U.S.
Y
officials have not confirmed that.
The Mexican government
We visited Matamoros to report on migrant tent camps for years, but violence there has escalated. The city of about 500,000 people just across the border from Brownsville, Texas, is home to warring factions of the Gulf Drug Cartel. The shootouts on Friday prompted the U.S. consulate to issue another security alert. Tonight, the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for the safe return of the Americans.
And Gabe is with me now. Do we know anything about the identities of the Americans?
Okay, so since then, we have discovered who these individuals were, and a lot is happening over in Mexico right now. I'm going to show you another article here with regards to the fact that, and this is on the Shade Room of all places, that the Mexican cartel has left a sorry letter alongside 5 beaten and handcuffed men for kidnapping and murder of the Black Americans. So we don't know if these are the individuals that actually did it or not. However, this is being stated here that the Scorpions, a subgroup of the infamous Mexican Gulf Cartel, has reportedly emerged to apologize for the kidnapping of 4 Black Americans. The interesting thing I think about this is that CNN, NBC, everybody else just called them the kidnapping of Americans and not necessarily Black Americans, which I think is very interesting. I do also think because of this, this is the reason why we have seen the cartel, we call it, react in such a way because for once, we are being seen as Americans. I also think that it has to do with money, as well. People were probably canceling their surgeries and things like that. But again, there apparently have been arrests. We don't know if the people who were beaten and handcuffed and arrested are actually the ones who did anything, but that's how it is. Everybody, please like the video as you are coming in as well. And I don't know if you all are saying anything. I usually see comments in here by now. So let's talk then about the reason why I wanted to have tonight's session. The question that Victoria asked at the Credit Solutionist was one of the questions. She had a lot of things that she said. She did a 2-hour plus live stream, but she mentioned how a part of this felt like a financial literacy issue. And I wanted to go through various things that she said with regards to this. I want to chime in. I want to give a little bit more of my commentary with regards to this. So we're going to take our time and just kind of look at some of the things, some of the great commentary that Victoria, the Credit Solutionist, actually said. And I'm going to add in a few pieces of information myself. So let's start watching.
Citing privacy concerns. Yep.
Oops. Okay.
All right, so that was the first little bit that I wanted to show you guys. And the interesting thing that I found in that video was that nobody over there came to their aid. Nobody got out of the cars. Nobody did anything. So what this lets me know right off the bat is that, number one, poor people have very poor situational awareness. Number two, these South Carolinians don't know Mexicans. I know that. And I know that because I know Mexicans. Now, my issue here is that not only did this girl go over there to do this, but the fact that they went over there, not really knowing how things work in Mexico. Now, I read a couple of articles about how you even travel when you go to Mexico, especially in this part of their country. I don't care how close it is to Brownsville. I just want you guys to know, I don't care how close it is to America. You have to understand when you cross over into somebody's country, you are basically playing the rules of their game. Okay. Now they took a chance and they played a stupid game and they won a stupid prize. That's the first thing that I want to make very clear here.
Okay. So Couple of things that Victoria said there, just as an overview, is that nobody came to their aid. There weren't any locals that came to their aid. Oftentimes, when we are traveling, I know I personally stay in the tourist section of town unless I am going someplace with a local. Um, and, anytime we travel, ladies, outside the United States, we do have to be very careful with regards to travel, with regards to where we're going, looking at the travel advisories, things like that. But I just wanted to set up overall what Victoria's thoughts were so that when she makes the rest of her comments, they make a little bit more sense. So let's move a little bit further here in her commentary because this is where I want to expound on some things that she said.
They were not Haitians. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Because this is the point that I'm trying to make here. I know that there's more to this story than what the news is telling us. And I know it wasn't just about plastic surgery. I refuse to believe that this girl was that silly. But at the same time, I have to remain objective and not be so emotional about it. I'm just upset that it's one of us. I'm being real with you. Because at the end of the day, you guys okay, let me be real. You all have no situational awareness and no cultural respect when you go to other places.
So I even know sometimes in the United States, I don't pay attention to my surroundings. I have at times just been, la da da da, doing my thing and not having situational awareness. But things have been going on so much in the world and in our local area right now that even I have to have situational awareness around my house, around the grocery store, around the gym, things like that. So we especially need to have situational awareness in other countries. We also see on the internet, on these internets, where Americans overall are going other places and we are not respecting other people's cultures. And we do have to know, again, situational awareness, we do have to know where we are going. Now, part of this was that this woman was going for a cosmetic surgery. I'm going to talk about that because I think that I have some thoughts about that. Victoria has some thoughts about that, but um, well, she says a lot. And actually, Stephanie, she actually dated a Mexican from Mexico for many years. So that I would encourage you to watch the whole live stream, Stephanie, because Victoria um, has an insight that most of us don't have. So that's why she's saying a lot of things that she's saying. So anyway, um, I want to get to another part that she says in this section because I thought it was so important, and I want to alert Black women to some of the dangers of getting these surgeries overseas.
A lot of you guys are going across the border to Mexico and you think that it's cute to go set up shop over there when you really don't know the culture. Number one, you don't know how they feel about Black people. Number two, if you're going over there for surgery, you do not know what happens when you are under anesthesia. You do not know what it takes for them to be board certified there. You don't know. Okay. You have no clue what happens when you're asleep. Do you know how organ harvesting happens?
This is part of what I want to talk about tonight is the organ harvesting. But I'm gonna let her finish this little section here.
I'm really talking at y'all tonight because I really think that you guys don't understand how serious this is. And I know y'all dropping off because you're probably the BBL girls. I understand. It's okay. But here's my thing. Dave brings up an amazing point here. Why would you go into Mexico knowing you don't speak Spanish? Why would you do that? I'm an Angelino, which means I'm from Los Angeles. I knew every single time that I went to Mexico, I needed to take a Mexican with me. I would never take 3 of my other Black friends with me to Mexico and think I'm going to be safe. I just wouldn't do it.
And when she's talking about this, I believe she means in the non-tourist part. Even in the tourist part of some of these countries, you need to be careful. But in the non-tourist part, especially, we do need to have multicultural friends, which is what one of the things that Victoria is going to talk about in her session here as well. It comes up later on. But I specifically want to talk a little bit about organ harvesting here, because she had mentioned organ harvesting. It's very lucrative business, very multi-billion-dollar business every year. So let me show you all some information about organ harvesting, because we are going places in this world and we really don't have all of the facts and all of the information. So this is about organ trafficking here. It's the unseen form of human trafficking. Organ trafficking is a lucrative global illicit trade, and it's often a lesser discussed form of human trafficking among anti-human trafficking stakeholders due to its intricate and often stealth nature. Okay? There's low supply of organs and high demand. Global Financial Integrity estimates that 10% of all organ transplants, including lungs, heart, and liver, are done via trafficked organs. The most prominent organs that are traded illicitly are the kidneys, according to the World Health Organization. And ladies, you may say, well, I'm American. That'll never happen to me. You don't know what's going to happen to you when you're put under anesthesia in a third world country and you don't know anybody there. You don't know the people. You're signing documents. You don't, in a foreign language that you don't know. One of the things that Victoria is going to say is with a 640 credit score, you can practically get any surgery in the United States and get it on credit. And if something happens, you have recourse and you're able to sue the doctor in the United States. It's saying here, once obtained, trafficked organs can be transplanted to recipients in the most reputable of hospitals in major cities throughout the world. So some Americans are going to foreign countries, and some people are going to foreign countries, having things taken out of them. Those valuable organs are being transplanted back to the United States. In whatever kind of organ laundering that they do. And this is how much your body is worth, ladies. And you don't get a penny of this. Your corneas are worth $30,000. Your lungs are worth $150,000. This is from a couple of years ago. Your heart is worth $130,000. Your liver is worth $98,000. And your kidneys are worth $30,000 apiece. $62,000 for both of them. This is a multi-billion-dollar operation that people have going on. I also want to show you this as well. I'm using the Taliban as an example. There are, in Mexico, there's a cartel. In Afghanistan, there's the Taliban. I don't think that we'll be going to Afghanistan. But what I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of these countries have very, very organized criminal activity. And we're just walking right into it. So I want to give you an idea of how these organizations make their money. So first of all, the Taliban, for example, generates $300 million to $1.6 billion a year. This is a Fortune 500 company. The primary sources of Taliban financing remain criminal activities, including drug trafficking and opium poppy production, extortion, kidnapping for ransom. Ladies, if these people get a whiff that you are upwardly mobile and you have some money attached to you, and don't just think it is the Taliban. There are all sorts of these organizations that are kidnapping for ransom. Mineral exploitation and revenues from tax collection in areas under Taliban control and influence. Ladies, we have to be careful. We have to be careful going to these countries for surgery. And this is ultimately a financial literacy issue. I definitely will tie that in. And Victoria ties that in as well. She actually said it first, and I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. This is a financial literacy issue. But we don't have any idea who we're dealing with or what we're dealing with. We have to be very, very careful as we are doing these things. And as you all know, whenever I have these discussions, they're not about the people, the other people. They're about us and how we're moving and how we're stepping. Black women need to stop going to Mexico, period. It is dangerous, and the U.S. already told us not to travel there due to the danger and the war going on. Absolutely agree. I have never been to Mexico. I have no interest in going to Mexico. So we saw Shanquella. We still don't have justice for Shanquella. I haven't forgotten. Shanquella's family is begging for the U.S. government and the Mexican government to do something. But let's keep going.
So again, I'm not victim blaming, but I'm just saying when you go abroad to a non-English speaking place and you're signing documents that are probably in Spanish, you're going to get what you get. Okay. Once you cross the border, you're in their territory. A lot of you get this misconception that because I'm 5 miles from the American border, I'm safe. No, you're not. Okay. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. Well, I'll tell you one story anyway. In Mexico, well, in TJ anyway, I used to live in where did I live? Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live, but I lived Southern California, pretty close to Mexico. Okay. Honestly, going to Mexico is nothing for us. It's like nothing. It got a little more difficult once they started requiring passports. Okay. But my mom and grandma used to bring us over across the border to TJ all the time. Okay. This is a thing. 80s babies in California know what I'm talking about. We did this all the time. Just go shop, get toys, paper flowers. We used to do all that stuff, right? We don't live in that society anymore. Okay. I knew that back when I was 18, 20 years ago. Do the math. Okay. I don't care if you figure out how old I am. I knew on my 18th birthday going into Mexico with my best friend and my mom on the train, the minute I crossed that border, I felt like I was unsafe. And we did it in the middle of the day. And my boyfriend, who was Mexican, was like, are you sure you want to do that? Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's cool. You sure you want to do that?
A lot of us in our 20s are thinking that we are able to just walk in and we're invincible and we have our American passports and things like that. And trust me, I traveled in my early 20s myself. I did things in my early 20s that I tell you were dangerous. It's by the grace of God that I'm here. So we as older women, and I'll put that in quotes for myself, I'm in my mid 40s, are trying to caution any of the younger women here that and this was in the late 90s when I went. Now it's even more dangerous. Now it's even more dangerous than ever.
Okay, I went. Okay. Now I will tell you exactly what they do to young girls that cross the border into TJ. You want to know? They pump us full of alcohol. That's what they do as soon as we go because they know what we're there for. They know the drinking age is 18. They take advantage of it. Okay. Now,
this is how young women get trafficked. See, we've been telling women just, in America, we've been telling them as long as, you get your drink directly from the bartender, then, you'll be okay. You go over to these foreign countries, you don't know what the bartender is putting in your drinks, ladies. You don't know what the bartender is putting in your marijuana or whomever you're getting the connect from.
You would be remiss to think that the cartels are not in on that. You think that they don't know those bar owners? You think that they don't know these people?
Of course they do.
Right? I've even gone to Mexico to get cheaper medicine. But you know why I did it? I did it because I had what did I do at that time? I just started a new job. That's what happened. I moved to San Diego. The San Diego area had just started a new job, and they weren't going to give me health insurance until, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm kind of babbling all over the place because I'm pointing out how ridiculous this story is. Okay, and maybe I know what I know because I lived so close to Mexico, because South Carolina is nowhere near Mexico. So I'm just going to give them that. But at the same time, this woman, this was not her first trip to Mexico to get surgery. That's the part that they're not really talking about a lot. This was her second or third time. So she already knew what was up. And that's why I'm telling y'all, I don't know if this was just about surgery. I think.
And I'm going to say just for Cherie that I don't know any of this. I'm not assuming any of this about this woman or the three men that were in the car with her. So I'm just hands off with that. We're going to specifically talk about the things that came out in that very first article and news cast that came out.
That this could have been because of easy access to pharmaceuticals. Anyway, back to my story. They were giving me 90 days to get my insurance actually initiated. So what did I have to do? I'm an asthmatic. I need asthma medication, okay? So if you ever want to know how to take me out, take my inhalers, okay? And I'm done. All right, that is a fact. So I could not go 90 days without my inhalers. But you know what I did? I took my boyfriend at the time, who was from Mexico. And I'm not talking about one of those Mexicans that doesn't know Spanish. No, this was one that got smuggled across the border by his mother. That's the kind of Mexican you take with you. Okay? Okay? You don't take 3 of your closest Black friends. I'm sorry. I know I said that already, but that's the point. So crossed over into the border, and he's like, hey, when we get over there, don't say anything. Just let me talk. Let me talk, give me the money, and we'll get this done. And you know what happened? We took our happy asses down to Revolutionary Boulevard or Revolucion Boulevard, got us some tacos and some drinks, and went to the pharmacy and took our asses right back across the border.
One of the things I liked about this story that she told is that when her boyfriend, who was from that part of the world, that country, told her, don't say anything, give me your money and keep quiet, that she actually listened to him. We do have to listen to the natives of these countries if we are going to visit these countries. If they tell us don't go someplace, don't go there.
That's what we did. He knew we did not need to spend the night there. He knew we did not need to be setting up shop or nothing. He knew it. He was like, let's go home. All right, we got it. Let's go. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is literally, again, a lack of situational awareness. Now, you cannot couple being situationally unaware with a need to travel or with a need to go to another country to get your ass liposuctioned. That's a deadly combination. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I know what it's like, okay? Because when I was 18, when we went to the bathroom at that club where they were shoving drinks down our mouth, yeah. Oh, that bathroom, yeah, that's a place where they kidnap people, 100%.
Okay, so I wanted you all to hear that last part. The cartel, the bartender, the waitresses, they all communicate with each other. Everybody give me a thumbs up as well as you are coming in. We got Becoming Bossy in the house. We got Jessica. Hey, Jessica. What's up, girl? We got Donna. You live in San Diego. Becoming Bossy is saying exactly. Aurelia is saying, oops, that shootout at the Mexican airport was this past January. I didn't even hear about that, but I'm not surprised. Bottom line is Black women need to stop traveling to Mexico because of the cheaper meds and surgery due to low self-esteem. I agree with that. Now all of them had criminal records, but they were not the target. Again, I have not looked enough into that, so I'm not going to comment on those things. I don't think that she thinks she's an expert. I think that she relied on her boyfriend, who was the person who, could tell her, do this, don't do that. I'll tell you my personal story is that I went to Senegal. My mother and I went to Senegal, and we went obviously with a tour group. But there was a woman in my, because I was in college when I went. There was a woman in my dorm who was from Senegal who said, "Okay, when you go here, don't go there." She connected us with her family, and because of that connection, we were able to go into parts where the natives of Senegal went without being harmed. And actually, we ended up having a great time. We ended up having a great time because we knew a native of that country. So, all right, let's keep going here um, to, because she said a lot in here that I thought just was really great. So,
Let me see if I could share the article with you guys, because this is where I'm seeing some holes in this story. And y'all, I already shared the link. So if you want to, you don't have to cam up, but you can come on and talk to me if you think where I'm going with this is wrong, or you think that I am being too hard on this person, these people. Because my next question is, why did these three men not step up and tell her, hey, you should probably fly in, number one. Number two, hey sis, we love you. Because in these articles, they say they're lifelong friends. So she was protected, y'all.
y'all heard that? She was protected, y'all. She had 3 lifelong male friends that went with her, but they didn't protect her enough to say, you know what? You don't need that surgery. You don't need to go here with us. Well, if that's the reason they were going, like I said, I don't know. We're going to protect you. You're a mother of 6. Stay home with your kids. My question is, who are your friends? What kind of danger are your friends getting you into?
She was protected. However, my friends would not let me go overseas or cross the border to get surgery. The only place they would let me go is probably Canada. That's it. They wouldn't be letting me go to Mexico. They would look at me screw-faced. And that's the ones that are even from Mexico. You guys don't have enough friends that are in different areas, in different nationalities. You don't have enough people around you from different groups. Because if this woman knew some Mexicans, and if these two dudes knew some Mexicans, they would know, don't go. Do you?
So I wanted to play that part. We need multicultural friends. We need multicultural friends. I had talked about this during our session with regards to the Scott Adams thing. So if you weren't here for that, I said that there are 4 things that upwardly mobile Black women are going to need. Number 1, you're going to need technical skills. If this woman went to this part of Mexico to get this specific surgery, it was because she didn't have the finances to pay for that surgery in the United States. She didn't have the credit score to pay for that surgery in the United States. She needed more technical skills. The money that she put together in order to pay for that surgery would have been better being directed to getting more technical skills. The second thing that we need is upwardly mobile Black women are soft skills. Our etiquette, our communication, time management, conflict management, things like that. The third thing that we need are networks. Ladies, we need multicultural networks. Before I buy a ticket to go somewhere, I want to talk to somebody from that country. And I've spent years getting a community of multicultural people that can say, Cherie, okay, if you go there, do this, don't do that, or don't go there at all. And then number 4, we need resources and financial literacy. We do. She wasn't protected, Ronna. Everybody liked the video as you're coming in as well. She's a grown woman. It's her decision, not her friends. Here's the thing, Invincible Summer, and welcome. Sometimes we as individual women will want to do things, and a great friend will tug us and say, hey, girl, that's not a good decision. Sometimes we as a woman will get in a relationship with a guy who is no good for us and a good friend. Now she'll only tug us once, but she'll tug our coattail and say, "Hey girl, maybe you need to rethink that." Sometimes we pack on too many pounds and our good girlfriends will say, "Hey girl, you know, maybe maybe you need to, think about eating that cake or those french fries or whatever because I care about your health." So a good friend also, like what Victoria said, and what I would say is, and I don't think I pulled it out for this part, for this broadcast, is I damn sure wouldn't be in the car with you, driving with you to Mexico for this. I'll tell you, Invincible Summer, if you and I were friends and you told me you were going down there to get your surgery, Sharia, you coming? Nope. Hey, Selfish Love. Mexico is just too unstable. It is too unstable. It is. Thank God I have multicultural friends. Yeah, we need it. Selfish lives in Texas. The border is dangerous. Yes. It's not about having multiple cultural friends. It is about knowledge. I think it's about both. I think it's about both. And I understand your concerns, Stephanie, but I just don't agree with you there. I don't. And I can't sit on this platform and tell people not to have multicultural friends, but then to depend on a tour guide. I'm sorry, I can't do it. In my experience, in some degree, I can agree with her about that. Oh, I guess you're talking about Victoria. You agree with Stephanie, she needed to do research. She did need to do research. Absolutely. Absolutely. Networking is so important. We have to know the right people. We can't just do things completely on our own. Absolutely. You're saying, I always watch my cultural friends. I think you should. They always warn me about certain things in their culture. Yep. There is a network expat community there in MX. Many are Black Americans. From what I know, they aren't living in the areas where that incident took place. They probably aren't. Yeah, they probably aren't living there because even the travel advisory said, don't go there. Don't go there. So this tragedy is linked in a way to financial literacy because we have so many Black women who are desperate. We're desperate for the look. We're desperate for the attention. We're not getting BBLs in order to move up in corporate America. So there's something else that's there. And if we wanted a BBL, which I don't understand why Black women want BBLs when we already have butts. And I remember in the 90s when we were shamed for having butts. In the 80s, we were shamed for having butts. Now, because Kim Kardashian and Jennifer Lopez came out, we're trying to get bigger butts and small. I don't get it, ladies. I have to admit, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I want to go a little bit further here in what Victoria is saying. Because again, she just hit on a lot of great points here. Let's keep listening.
Rescue efforts. So I'm going to continue with that story, but this is a problem. A mother of 6. How are we the most educated in this country, Black women? How do we have these wonderful jobs? We're lawyers, we're HR professionals, we're doctors, we're dentists, we're CEOs. But this mother of 6 thought it was a good idea to leave her babies at home, hop in a car with 3 other dudes, and drive 2,500 miles from South Carolina to get butt injections. I don't know if that's really what happened, so allegedly. Mother of 6. I'm tired of y'all acting like we're the smartest beings on this planet and like everybody's second guessing us and shortchanging us, because they're not. When you look at the details of stories like this, how dare you even tell people that we're the most educated? How dare you?
So let me put a pin in that. When I was younger, I was told that, there's being book smart and there's being street smart. And some of us are book smart and not street smart. Some of us are street smart and not book smart. Some of us are book smart and street smart in our own neighborhoods, but we're not street smart multiculturally. We're book smart with regards to being a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or things like that, but we're not book smart when it comes to being able to research these places and learn more about what we're getting ourselves into. I think that there are different areas of smart that we need to really kind of dive into. And I don't have all the answers with regards to this, but I really do think we need to take a look at that. Jessica is saying, honestly, having a network of white men and women have gotten me in the right rooms. Me too, Jessica, and given me more insight than I would have gained without them. Of course, it's important to have the right people around you, regardless of ethnicity, race, and gender. J Lo worked hard for hers. Yeah, she worked hard, all right. She stole from Mariah Carey and, did what she had to do. So, yeah, I have no idea. Stephanie is saying cultural friends can't warn you about anything more than good research. I disagree. I disagree. I think that there are things that um, a person can tell you that would be harder to find in good research if you don't know what you're looking for. Um, so in my Mariah Carey voice, I don't know her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, okay, so let's continue listening to this here.
Stories like this totally 86 what you just said. It eliminated everything. Everything. Where's the child's father? I noticed in all of these stories, nobody ever mentions her husband is grieving. You think she had a husband? Do you? And I'm looking at the chat, y'all. Otherwise, I'd be staring in the camera, burning through your soul.
Or her father. I think that these things are important, ladies, especially as upwardly mobile women. These things are important. I'll veer off a little bit from what Victoria is talking about with where's her husband when she has 6 children, and just say that I've told or said on this channel before that the most important financial decision that you will make is who the father of your child or children will be. Because that decision, even more than who you marry, because you can marry somebody and break up with them and, get back on your feet financially. But who you have children with is the most important financial decision you will ever make. It is the decision that can either elevate you or destroy you financially. It can either elevate you or destroy you financially. And we're going to actually have a section on that when I have some time. I really do, because I want to talk about that. I have an unpopular opinion. Stephanie, I just disagree with that. We've been going back and forth, you and I, with regards to this specific topic with the multicultural friends. So, yeah, Rana's saying here, my multicultural friends did help me a lot when it comes to protecting myself abroad. Yeah, yeah. So let's see here. Let's go back here to what she is saying.
Do you think this woman had a husband? Probably not. Most women that get surgery don't.
Now, I don't know if I believe that. I think that a lot of women who are married get surgery, but I do think that they probably do it in the United States, or it's a little bit more structured than what this woman has done.
Right? So this is a problem. Like I said, this is an unprotected woman. She went down there with 3 men, not realizing that she should have just went by her damn self. She should have just went by her damn self, because having them didn't do nothing. Taking a Black man across the border to Mexico, I'm sorry, you're more likely to get hurt. Some of y'all don't know how Mexicans feel about Black people. Some of you don't know that. And it's because you're not exposed to them. Diamond Dave did a live a while ago where he talked about, even though there's dangerous ass cartels in Mexico, the one thing a Mexican will not do when they come over here, and this is nothing against Mexicans. I actually love Mexicans. I really do. Because once you get in with them, you good. That's the one thing about them. But these ones across the border, different story. Okay. But Diamond Dave did a story where he talked about, no matter how bad the cartels are, Mexicans will still hang out with them when they get to America. They will still say, even though the cartels chase me out of my country, I'm still going to deal with them when I get to America because I know that there's safety there. So how dumb do we look going over there in droves? That's not our motherland. I don't know nobody in Mexico like that. The Mexican that I know, he's here. Okay? And that's the only person I would actually go to Mexico with, to be quite honest.
Now, what I remember from the Diamond Dave thing, because I did actually listen to that live stream as well, was that he was saying that just because there are Mexicans who are in the cartel doesn't mean that they will never ever do business or work with other Mexicans. Like we will say in Black America, I don't want to deal with any Black people. I don't want to work with any Black people. They would never say that just because they have other people in their community who are doing illicit things doesn't mean they'll never work with each other. And what he was trying to do was encourage us to start working together. So
I hope his wife ain't watching this. But listen, that's the only person. Because he could code switch. Americanized like hell, but illegal as they come. Okay?
So that's the other thing. Are you dealing with somebody from that culture who can code switch? Or are you talking to somebody who's second, third, fourth generation and heard from somebody who told them who might have known? This is a great piece of thought as we are talking with people and building our multicultural networks, is to think about that.
Illegal as they come. Them the kind you need to be with. So this is a story also about, I want to make it a cautionary tale to let you guys know, you need to also expand your social groups. Because if this...
Okay. So, she's going to go into something. I want to come back to that. I want to actually go a little bit further. We talked about the code switching. And we do want somebody who knows that culture, who either grew up there or, is first generation or something like that as well. Because there are a lot of people who are second, third, fourth generation and, they're too far removed from it as well. So this is very true. All right. So let's move forward. I want to play this for you here.
This story is not making sense. Okay? But the main problem and why the credit lady is bringing this up is because she was only there, if we're going by...
So Victoria is the credit lady. So she's talking about herself here. So let me move this back a little bit. And she's going to talk about why financial literacy and credit comes into this story. If anything you don't get from today's broadcast, I want you to get this here.
But the main problem and why the credit lady is bringing this up is because she was only there, if we're going by the surface story that we're getting, she was only there to get surgery, which means she's poor, which means she has terrible credit and could not afford a care credit card. It means that her family could not pitch in and make her an authorized user and get her credit game up. Tell me I'm lying. This wasn't no middle or upper class person that went across the border. I'm sorry. It just wasn't. I said what I said.
She said what she said. This was one of the things that she said you know what? I need to do a broadcast on this. I need to do a broadcast on this because I didn't block you. I didn't block you, Stephanie. Um, hey, Jessica. Okay, you'll catch your video later. All right. Yeah. So she knew that this woman was poor. She had no credit. She wasn't able to get the surgery done in the United States. So she had to instead go to third world country in order to get an elective surgery done. We have to have those four things, ladies. We have to have technical skills. Right now, I also saw an article that said that for any of us to buy a house in the United States, we're going to need to earn $100,000 for just a median house price, a regular house. We're going to need technical skills. We're going to need soft skills. We're going to need networks, multicultural networks, and we're going to need resources and financial literacy in order to make it. And I'm not going to show the CNN interview with her daughter and her mother, but you can tell that the family is poor as well. Hey Jay, how you doing? Everybody give us thumbs up as you are coming in. So this is Victoria. She was dropping gems the other day. So I'm just kind of piggybacking off of a lot of the things that she's saying, adding in my 2 cents from this with regard to this being a financial literacy issue. Because if this woman had 100,000 plus skills, if she had skills that were worth $120,000, would she have been in Mexico getting that surgery? The answer is no. If she had the soft skills necessary to navigate and be upwardly mobile, would she have been in Mexico getting a dangerous elective surgery, and not in the tourist area of Mexico, but in this specific area of Mexico that has a travel advisory on it? The answer is no. If she had relatives and friends that cared about her and were able to pull at her coattail and say, girl, I don't think you should go there. I don't think you should do that. They darn sure wouldn't have been in the car with her traveling over. They would have said, no, we don't think you should leave your 6 children here in order to go and get this surgery. If she had multicultural networks, if she had people, Mexican Americans, talking to her and she talked to them, would she have been in Mexico getting this surgery? The answer is no. This is absolutely a financial literacy issue, ladies. This is a resource issue. Because we as Black women, and Victoria said this before, we're talking about how we're the most educated, how we have the most degrees, and yet we're going to these third world countries getting these dangerous surgeries. Ron is right. She would be in the US at least getting the surgery. I saw that too. This is a time of great change, but also a time of great opportunity. It is. Most poor people will go to Latin America for surgery. Yeah, absolutely. Because if this wasn't a poverty thing, there are other second world countries she could have gone to that would have been a lot more, a lot better for her. But Cherie ain't going anywhere but the United States. Surgery is already so risky. I could never go to a third world country for anything, honestly. It is. Stephanie, I don't appreciate this. Victoria is not a loser. Victoria is not a loser, and that's not fair. If you are going to be for Black women, you need to be for Black women who disagree with you as well. This is not fair, Stephanie. You can say you disagree with Victoria's stance without calling her a loser. How dare you come in here and do that to her? You're so for Black women, but you would actually sit up here and write this? I wish you would just leave the chat. If you are triggered by what she is saying, by what I'm saying about the multicultural networks, you could have just said, I disagree with you, but I understand. No, you keep digging. Stop commenting in my chat with regards to this, or I will block you personally. I like you. I like what you've done for Black femicide, but please, you cannot say you're for Black women and for the upliftment of Black women and write this crap. I apologize, everybody. J. Antoinette is saying, I'm just learning that this was all for a tummy tuck. How sad. Yeah, it is. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's bad. I didn't know you could go to South Africa for this. Yeah, the surgery is risky. Hey, Computer and Coin. Good to see you. Tiff is saying, what's the return on investment for a tummy? There is none. That was another thing that I was going to say in my comments tonight. There is no, from a financial point of view. So I'm going to skip my notes because Tiff actually was headed where I was going. If we are looking at the level up, what is the financial return on investment for a tummy tuck? Does a tummy tuck get you a better job? Does a tummy tuck get you more opportunities at a country club or a multicultural network? No, it doesn't. It could potentially get you a man, but if a man really loves you and you have a little bit of a pooch, he should love you anyway. You are a woman with 6 children to take care of. Anything could have happened to you on that table. There is no return on investment for a tummy tuck, especially a tummy tuck in a third world country. You're saying a broke man. Yes. There is no return on investment, Rana. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. So let's keep going here. All right. So like I said, I just had to rip off the stream here because Victoria did such a great job. And I do suggest you go and listen to the whole thing because she has other parts in here that I'm skipping over. But let's continue listening.
Anyway, why didn't they fly? Exactly. I'm going to break it all down. Like I said, I got off on a tangent like I always do, but I got some tabs pulled up. I'm going to share some information with you guys. Because again, if I'm going to a country knowing I'm going to be, even if it's local anesthesia and you're not putting me to sleep, I want to know. I'm checking the travel advisory for your country. I'm checking to see if there's any well-known gangs that run in your area. I'm checking to see, like, what is the best entry point to your country.
So this is some game that Victoria just shared with you. Here are the things she's looking for. What's the best entry point into your country? Where do I go? Where do I not go? Where's the embassy? Things like that you need to know if you're traveling, internationally, anywhere that we're going. We also, the last time we had this conversation, someone mentioned this program where you're able to give the embassy your itinerary. And if anything happens in that country, they know where to contact you, where to get you out, so that if conflict erupts or anything like that, the embassy can actually extract you from that country. I'm going to find that and put it in the, the comments. But I'm going to find that program. But that's a very good program for you ladies to know about as well, because I didn't know about it as much as I've traveled.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Call me ignorant, call me partial to California. I would never enter Mexico from Texas. It's way too vast. There's too many points where some craziness could happen. Texas is massive, and that border is massive. There's too much potential for you to get lost, for you to be unaccounted for you to be swiped up. Too much. I would never catch an Uber down there. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And that's just me being a Californian. Call it what you want. But to me, there's a lot more protection and a lot more accountability at the California-Mexico border.
Does anyone know if this is true? I don't know. Have you all gone through both California and the Texas border to figure out which one is better to go through. I haven't been to Mexico at all. I have no interest in going. It is not even on my bucket list.
Main reason because San Diego is one of the highest grossing income areas in California. So they're not really going to let too much craziness happen at that border. Now, Brownsville, I'm sorry. This is the first time I've ever heard of Brownsville, Texas. Sorry.
So this is about money, ladies. money, money. The reason I believe the reason that Mexico, the reason that the cartel handed over five of who knows who they handed over five people. I don't even know if they were part of the cartel. But they handed over five people is because at the end of the day, this story was going to hurt their pockets. People probably were canceling their surgeries left and right because of this, because CNN and NBC and all of these other places did not say 4 Black Americans kidnapped and 2 killed. They just said 4 Americans. 4 Americans. This thing has to do with money. So what Victoria is saying here, again, I don't know much about California versus Texas, but it wouldn't make sense that they wouldn't let too much funny stuff happen near San Diego because that's money. Too much money.
Sorry, Texans. We don't know. We don't know. But it's just, it's set up a lot different with the California-Texas border. So I'd rather go through that one if I had to go. And I'd be flying Aeromexico. I wouldn't be driving a beater van from North Carolina. Did you guys see that van?
Yeah, look, this was desperation, ladies. This does tie back to financial literacy. So let me come up here because you all said a lot. People don't take surgery seriously. Remember, Kanye's mother died from cosmetic surgery because she didn't want to listen to her physician who thought she should wait because of her heart. I agree. We think we can just make it over. Yes, language barrier is a real thing. If you don't have a translator or can speak the language, it's a hard sale. Yeah. And then Ron is talking about the US State Department. I feel sorry for the children she has left behind. I think she's alive, Sean. I think she's alive. There were 2 men that were killed. The third man was injured, and she was left physically unharmed. You know, it's sad to know that I think that she's alive, though. Yeah, the mother survived. Oh, badass trucking babe. Hello. Black women have to stop following harmful pop culture trends like BBLs. I agree. I said this before you came in, badass trucking babe. Everybody like the videos. You're coming in as well. Please like the video. Black women naturally have big behinds. Why are we getting BBLs? I'm confused. Because a BBL surely is going to help you level up in the professional world. A BBL isn't attractive to most men, not the exaggerated ones. We already have big butts. I just don't get it. And the truth is, since this is upwardly mobile Black women, if we have BBLs, then, I wonder if some of our stock goes down when we're networking with people. Now, that's like unnatural BBLs. If you are naturally just curvaceous like that, as so many of us are, we just wear our curves. But adding stuff, yeah. Following these female rappers and social media influencers can be damaging to you both psychologically and medically. That's true. Tisha Campbell exposed Brownsville, Texas last year. She was almost kidnapped. I didn't know that. Oh, wow. She's right. Texas is massive. Even though people often cross the Texas-Mexico border, it's still not without risk. And there's a lot of spaces in that area that's not even covered. I walked across the border in California and flew in from Texas. It wasn't a hassle at all to walk over. Yeah, I've heard that. Being American does carry a lot of weight depending on where you're going. Yeah. Yeah, because, okay, San Diego has a large Marine base. I did know about that. Has a large military base there, the Navy and the Marine base. Yeah, you girls are right. Flying into Mexico from Texas wasn't a hassle, but I was very aware of the risk either way. Yeah, I think it's different between flying in and driving in as well. They drove from South Carolina to Texas, and that's like I would believe a multi-day trip. So there are many people who work in California, private sector and government, and live in Tijuana, Baja, etc. I would believe that. Hey, Abundance, hello. Okay, let's continue listening to some of the things that Victoria said, because she just said so much in here. I was like, yes, yes, yes. So I wanted to really just piggyback off of some of the things that she's saying here. So let's come here.
Right? Do with it what you will. Okay. I prefer to think of myself as more of an independent thinker than anything, but that's just me. And an independent thinker knows you need to you need to research the place you're going to. So let's talk about this real quick. This is the Mexico Travel Advisory. So the place that
And ladies, we don't just use this for Mexico, we use this for any place that we're going, travel.state.gov. One of the things that came up in this live stream is that when, we'll say white people here, when the system wants to alert people to something and cover their butts, they will do it like this. They will put it on the official government website. And if you go to the website, great. If you don't, that's on you as you were traveling. So let's continue listening.
this lady went to is a level 4. So if you're looking at this part of the screen right here, oh, I'm sorry, guys, that didn't help. But to the right part of the screen, right here where my cursor's moving, can you guess, anybody in the chat, can you guess what level the place that she went to is on? Can you guess out of 1 through 4, 1 being the best to just exercise caution. Number 4 level is do not travel completely. Don't go there. We don't even let American workers go there. Stay away. Red blaring lights. Do you know, just anybody, if you could guess from a 1 to 4, what level do you think that place was?
Red.
I already know we got one person up in here. We know you
Yeah.
you be sitting in the front of the class. We already know.
Rana knows
you was
she's
gonna
a
get it right.
4. Yeah, look.
But listen. Exactly. So let's talk about it. Now, the way that I found this is at travel.state.gov. So if you are ever going to travel anywhere, just know you are supposed to go to this website and look wherever you're going to go. Okay. I don't care if the passport bros are telling you to do this. Passport bros are out there getting stranded right now. Okay. Don't y'all start doing your own research. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the state. So she was in Tamaulipas and they're saying do not travel to. So that's a level 4. Okay. Do not travel to Tamaulipas state due to crime and kidnapping. So I'm going to click on it and it takes us down here where it says,
They basically telling you here, do not travel there because of crime and kidnapping. Like, how much more blatant and blaring do we need it to be? Ron is saying I always get their warnings. Yeah. I mean, you know, but I just want to let you know, just in case you haven't traveled or you haven't used this website before, this is all about us sharing resources as well. So let us know what resources you use as you are traveling, things like that, so that we can all educate each other as well. Let's keep listening.
Organized crime activity, including gun battles, murder, armed robbery, carjacking, kidnapping, forced disappearances, extortion, and sexual assault.
After reading that, after hearing that, who wants to go there? Organized crime activity, including gun battles being organized, ladies, murder, armed robbery, carjacking, kidnapping, forced disappearances, extortion, and sexual assault. And you want to go there and be put under anesthesia for a surgery you don't need.
And this is in Ciudad Victoria. Lord have mercy. No relation, okay? But criminal groups target public and private passenger buses, as well as private automobiles traveling through Tamaulipas, often taking...
Criminal groups target public and private passenger buses. to kidnap you, to carjack you, to rob you, to murder you, to do sexual assault. And we're traveling there to get elective surgery for a tummy tuck. This is a financial literacy issues, ladies. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. Because if we have our money up, we don't have to go to these dangerous places to get these elective surgeries. And the truth is, these specific elective surgeries of tummy tuck doesn't help us level up. It doesn't do it.
Passengers and demanding ransom payments. I'm going to keep reading this because you guys need to get this beat into your head. Heavily armed members of criminal groups often patrol areas.
Heavily armed members of these organized crime groups patrol areas. They're the law over there. There is no 911 over there. There is no let me run to the nearest person for help. Ron is saying I wouldn't go. That's part of the reason why Mexico is not on my list.
Of the state. The cartel is patrolling. They're looking for you to slip up. Oh my God. They operate with impunity, particularly along the border region of Reynosa and Nuevo Laredo. So of course, Nuevo Laredo sounds like it would be near Laredo, Texas, I'm assuming. And you'll remember the newscaster was actually saying something about Laredo, and crossing over into the border to get medications and things. So it says law enforcement has limited capacity to respond to incidents of crime.
Law enforcement has limited capacity to respond to crime. So you think in the hood in the United States, law enforcement is slow. And yet we're going someplace and getting anesthesia pumped in us for a tummy tuck.
Once again, why would I go somewhere where it literally says the cartel is out there, they're 100% patrolling, and the law enforcement has limited capacity to respond to incidents of crime?
I agree. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. So wanted to show you that. Now, let's talk a little bit about how this could have been paid for. So Victoria's a credit person. She's going to introduce you to a website here, and you can write this down if you need to know what this website is. If you want to get elective surgery and you have at least a 640 credit score, she gives you a website to go to.
A poor ass credit score, 100%, because it only takes a 640 to get a care credit card. So since we're here, why don't we just do it? Damn it. I'll just have to do it. But thank you so much for joining the membership. That means more to me than you'll ever know. So thank you so much. And the membership costs $2.99, guys. So I'm cheaper than a gallon of gas. I'm cheaper than eggs. I'm cheaper than milk. Dare I say cheaper than your baby's mother.
Yeah, that was a joke, but definitely go and at least give her a thumbs up and subscribe to her channel. It's the Solutionist Experience or the Credit Solutionist, either one.
But anyway, so let me go ahead and share this. Okay, so let me zoom it in because I want you guys to, again, just when you get these stories in the news, just look deeper, y'all. And then we're going to get up out of here. So this is Care Credit, right? So this is why this Mexico story, it adds insult to injury. And when I share this with you, you should be pissed. You should be.
One thing I was listening to Tanya TKO, if you all listen to that channel, and some women called in and they were saying these surgeries oftentimes are $5,000. $5,000 in America. So, you are able to get them here.
Be pissed that there is someone in our group, our diaspora, whatever you want to call it. There's one of us that jumped over all of this information right here Is my signal okay, you guys? I can't really tell because it seems like it's cutting me out a little bit here and there. But anyway, so you can use Care Credit for cosmetic surgery. That's a medical credit card, just for those of you that don't know. So when you go
Okay, so I really wanted to share that. Oh, I have a little bit more. She must have said something else in here. Let's
into
keep
the
going.
doctor's office and, like, maybe you don't have insurance, or you can't pay the bill or whatever, you can charge it to the game. You just have to go in there with the 640 credit score. So they cover breast augmentation, liposuction, nose job, rhinoplasty, eyelid surgery, tummy tuck, mommy makeovers, mini facelift. There's literally, and for you guys, let me take off this membership thing. For you guys and even the women, they do hair replacement. So y'all don't even got to keep going to the barber and getting them white lines that y'all be getting. You could go get hair replacement.
Victoria was cutting up here.
So I'm sharing this with you, not as an advertisement, because I don't work with Care Credit, but I help y'all get collections off from Care Credit though. But what I'm saying here is that this girl has so many opportunities to not do what she did. And this is I'm showing you right here on the screen. This is proof positive. She didn't have to do what she did. And that's why I'm telling you, there's something more to this story.
Okay. So those were all the things that Victoria said. I really liked her entire live stream. She had so much more. She had a guest on there. If you're familiar with Diamond Dave, he came on and talked about a couple of things. Yes, Ronna, the cops are on the cartel's payroll. Everybody is on the cartel's payroll. One of the things that Victoria said that I didn't even think about is sometimes these doctors or the medical assistants and those individuals are on the cartel's payroll as well. So they know you're coming in, they know who you are. They may be doing a background check on you. Oh, she's a lawyer. Oh, she's married to this person. Oh, she has this and that. They could be scrolling your social media. You don't know what these people are doing, what kind of a background they're doing on you. I'd be scared to go to that part and get anesthesia. Woof. Abundance is saying she could have worked out by staying productive with the children. Absolutely. Hey, Mocha Mommy, good to see you. Everybody liked the videos. You're coming in as well. The story is very sad. People go to Mexico for dental care and low prescription. Yeah, absolutely. And they're all targets. Yeah, Jay, they were saying that a lot of those surgeries are $5,000. I was expecting it to be more as well. Our beauty standards are hurting us. And here's the interesting thing, becoming Boss C. It's beauty standards that we're putting on ourselves. These beauty standards are not helping us level up in corporate America. It would be different if we were getting these surgeries in order to get a better job or in order to make more money in some sort of way, or even like the gastric bypass or those types of weight loss surgeries. I get a little bit more because you are saying, okay, I'm morbidly obese. I'm having trouble losing weight, so I'm going to get this surgery. Like, I get that. I get that because then you're able to have more mobility. You're able to move up the corporate ladder a lot easier. But the tummy tucks and the BBLs, I don't get. Care Credit is a great resource. Okay, like I hadn't heard of it, but good to know that. It's definitely an option for people. I don't want to make it seem like 5K isn't a lot of money. It isn't a lot of money. It's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But here's the thing. What, a month ago, I did a session on Beyonce tickets, but no money to level up. So you have $5,000 to get a tummy tuck, but you don't have money to get your tech cert. You don't have money to, take a class that'll get you, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 extra in salary. You can't pay Mentor Shelley, who taught us salary negotiations, to help us write your resume and to do job coaching with you. See, this is a financial literacy issue, ladies, because 5K, what could 5K be used for in the level up game? It would be different if the tummy tuck was going to help her in some sort of way to again, be able to advance in a career or something like that. So, in conclusion, ladies, I still stand by the 4 things I think every upwardly mobile woman needs. You need technical skills. You want to be at the top 10% of your industry with regards to your technical skills. You need soft skills. You need networks, multicultural networks, and you need resources slash financial literacy. You need to apply the financial literacy. If you have those 4 things, you will be able to rise the corporate ladder. You'll be able to start and grow a healthy business. You will be able to save your money, invest your money appropriately, get part of the $68 trillion wealth transfer. That is what we're talking about on this channel. We're going to talk about these 4 things like ad nauseum. You all are going to get tired of hearing me say that. And you're going to get tired of hearing me talk about uh, starting a business, a part-time business, in order to pay off debt. Those are the 2 directions that this channel is going into. Look, Jay Antoinette, you're saying you didn't want to be classist or seem classist. Here's the thing. People have accused me of being classist and all of that. I'm starting to wear that like a badge of honor. I'm okay with that because I love people and I love people enough to understand, in the grand scheme of things, a tummy tuck isn't going to get you anywhere. And that 5K could have been used better. And $5,000 is not a lot of money. Most of us can go and get a $5,000 credit card, with 660 credit score, or the care credit 640 credit score. That's low. That's low. We can do so much more. So, with that, ladies, I hope that you have a wonderful Friday. We'll be back tomorrow for Small Business Saturday. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, share the video on your way out. At least you're telling us the truth. I try, Rana. And if I have to come back and clarify things or, recant, then I will do that as well. So, all right, my dears, have a great Friday. And I'd love to hear your take on the Silicon Valley bank crisis. Becoming Bossy, check my community tab because I put a little bit of information in there and I kind of gave a little bit of my take on it. If we want to do something more extensive, then I don't know. We've got back-to-back stuff Saturday, Sunday, and Monday I'm coming on. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little 10-minute video and put that in. Rana saying goodbye. Tiff with the hearts. Thank you so much. Computer and Coin saying great show as usual. You are welcome. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.